Yo, what's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Stacks, and I'm back at you with another episode of Grew Up Inside. As always, much love and respect to everybody that's been rocking with me, viewing my channel, hitting like, leaving positive feedback. That shit means a lot. To all my new peoples, I appreciate y'all. And if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button with the little notification bell. That way, every time I drop a video, you can get a message and, view my shit first. Today, what I'm going to be talking about is a time when I woke up being choked. So, choked in my sleep is going to be the name of this video. There's been a lot of times while I did my bid that, I've gotten restrained to the point where, I felt like I was going to pass out. There was a time when my eye was swollen shut. A few of my ribs were broken on the right-hand side. There's been other times, my eyebrow, I have a little scar. I don't know if y'all can see it, like a little line right there. See that little line? That's a scar from when they elbowed me in the back of the head and my face bounced off the fucking floor. And I had to get stitches and shit. They busted my eye open. You know what I'm saying? So there's been multiple occasions when I went through bullshit like that. They just go above and beyond a lot of times, you know what I mean? Especially in some placements, these staff members and fucking counselors and shit like that don't even have the proper training necessary in order to work with troubled youths. You know what I'm saying? They're just regular people like you and I. They might have a bachelor's in freaking psychology or something dumb, and even other times like that, other times they'll hire them without any type of degree and then send them to school while they're working there and then just call them an intern. You know what I mean? And then get the most lowest degree possible in whatever it is they need to get it in and, hire them just like that. Excuse me. Sometimes they hire people that are just fresh out of college. They have anger problems. A young 21-year-old kid with a chip on his shoulder is expecting and demanding respect when, they're not even giving it to us. You know what I'm saying? They'll sit there and talk down to you and treat you like an animal and yet turn around and expect you to be cool with them and tell them please and thank you and yes sir, no sir, may I not. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. And there's been a lot of times when I've gotten beaten up by the staff members, but the time that I'm going to speak about today in particular probably sticks out the most to me and is burned into my memory the most, down to the point where I can close my eyes and breathe in and still get that fragrance and aroma of the guy's breath when he was in front of I woke up with the dude in front of my face like this. You think it's funny to pass notes and that my brothers and sisters got beat up? And then talking a bunch of shit to me. See, what happened was I brought it up on Death's channel. There was a really big riot that happened and a bunch of staff members got beat up and took 13 different police agencies to come and fucking gain control, and there's actually a whole newspaper article on it. I have the article. I'm actually gonna make a video specifically on the riot and put the article up and read the article for you guys. So what happened was there was that, and this was almost a year after that, okay? There were still a few dudes around from when that happened that weren't involved in the riot, you know what I'm saying? And so at this time, a bunch of new staff members were working there and shit, but there were still a few of the old ones around, and I was passing notes back and forth from building to building. See, what it was I had obtained my GED, and so instead of going to school, I was in a food prep program where every morning for school, 5-6 hours a day, I'll shackle me up, me and another guy, shackle us up, take us to the other building, and then we'd do a class where they'd teach us how to cook something, we'd cook it, and then get to eat it at the end of the day. It was actually fucking pretty dope. So I was in that, and because of that, I was going to the other building, and one of my homies in the building that was with me, he had a homie from his neighborhood in the other building. You know what I'm saying? And so, I was passing notes back and forth between them. because, you know, the dude that I was in the building with, you know, me and him were cool. we've known each other for 2 years, you know what I'm saying? Because he came around the time that I came, and we've been through the Riot together and shit like that. So me and him were pretty tight, you know what I'm saying? And I was taking notes over to his homeboy, and then his homeboy would write his note, and then I'll take it back. But what happened was, homie gave me a note early one day, you know what I'm saying? And instead of fucking just leaving it flat, not folded up, he gave it to me already folded up with a rubber band around it. And rubber bands were considered contraband off rip. So as soon as they see that, they're automatically gonna know something's up. I should have fucking took the rubber band off and flattened the paper out and just put it in one of my notebooks, but I didn't because I didn't want to fucking rewrap it wrong, and then I take it over there and homeboy like says I opened the shit, and then a big huge feud starts behind that. So I said fucking just left it the way it was. And in our lockers inside of our room, there's a little lip, like the door opens like this, you know what I mean, normal. But then when you reach in, the roof is like a bottom locker and a top locker. The roof has a little lip. So the rubber band around the paper folded up was wide enough to that I could like jam it in there and then it wouldn't come out. So I said fuck it and just jammed it up in there thinking nothing of it. Couple hours go by, shit like that. We go to dinner, come back from dinner, do rec, do showers and shit. And we're actually in the rec room for our nighttime rec, you know? And one of the staff members, I guess, decided to go and shake down my room. So they do random shakedowns every day, you know what I mean? 2 or 3 on each shift, you know what I mean? Except for the night shift. Overnight shift, they won't wake you up to fucking shake you down like they do in the adult camps and shit like that. So while I was in rec, my room got shaken down by a staff member. She was kind of new, so you know, she was like, had that super cop mentality. You know what I mean? Like every little thing she was trying to find and bang people for, you know. Some of the older staff, you know, they were a lot cooler and shit like that. You know, they would let things go. And when they did shakedowns, they'd just come in and kind of give a little look around and, you know, not really do too much. But the newer people, they always would come in and flip your shit, and then you'd go in and all your stuff would be on your bed, all your clothes would be unfolded, like straight dickhead shit. So she found the note, long story short, read the note. I didn't hear nothing about it. You know what I mean? Well, I went back into my cell, locked in that night, and went to sleep. When I went up, before I went to sleep, I didn't check and see if the note was there. I figured, you know, I didn't hear nothing about it, so I figured they didn't find it. So I'm laying there sleeping, and I wake up when I freaking feel cold ass hands. I like can't breathe. At first I think I'm dreaming, and then my eyes pop open, and the ice cold hands are just completely pulling down on me. I can't scream, I can't breathe, I can't do nothing. My eyes are just like this, and I had the staff member over my face telling me, you know, you think it's fucking funny that our brothers are getting beat up and da-da-da-da-da, talking a really bunch of shit to me. And while he's choking me, there's fucking like 3 or 4 other staff members with him giving me body shots, hitting me in my knees with their fucking flashlights and shit like that, like fucking me up, literally beating the shit out of me, like choked me in my sleep. That's how I woke up. Like, I really felt like I was gonna fucking die. You know what I mean? Like, my whole life flashed in front of my eyes and everything. Like, no cap. And the reason why is because it happens very often. Like, fairly often it fucking happens that they're doing these restraints. They use a little bit too much force. You know what I'm saying? And they go above and beyond, and a kid fucking ends up getting suffocated and dies. I thought they were gonna fucking kill me and cover it up, because 85 to 90% of the time when a kid does die, no charges get filed against the staff member. You know what I mean? No charges get filed against the staff member. And if you look at some of one of my previous videos I have, it's called Juvie Prison Restraint Turned Deadly. And it's actually a story about a kid that was held on the ground for 3 fucking hours. He's telling him he can't breathe, and they continued to hold him there, and the kid died. They literally put so much pressure on this kid's chest that they suffocated him. They called themselves working your problems out on the ground, or working your problems out on the floor, or something like that. You know, and they'll hold you in a crazy ass, uncomfortable ass position, making it hard for you to breathe because your arms are back for 3 hours, 4 hours. You know what I mean? So I thought for sure I was going to be done. And he's sitting there talking shit to me like, oh, you think it's funny my staff are getting beat up and blah, 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 blah. And come to find out that in that particular note, that time, they were fucking talking about the riot. You know what I mean? Laughing it up like, yeah, haha, I beat the shit out that crackers and blah, 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 blah. I hope they got fucked up and this and that. So when they found the note and read it, they thought I was talking shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they were fucking me up. Does it make it okay? Fuck no. But that's why they did what they did, you know? They thought that I was writing the notes and laughing, and they were calling like certain staff members by their name, like all types of bitches, and they fucked me up for that, man. They really fucked me up. I'm laying there sleeping like a baby, not a worry in the world, and I get woke up to not being able to breathe. This dude's ice cold hands fucking squeezing down on my Adam's apple. I'm like talking all this shit on me and shit like that, and fucking. So once they stopped beating me up, they made me get up, took me to the office, started asking me all these questions like, so who wrote the note and blah, 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 blah. And obviously I didn't tell him nothing because, you know, I didn't want to get my homie in trouble. And fucking, I was about to go home in maybe like 2-3 months at this time when I was there. And fucking, they were talking about, okay, you don't want to tell us nothing? Then we're going to call your PO. We're going to call your PO, get you some more time in here. And they were threatening me and shit, and I still wasn't saying nothing. So I just fucking waited. You know what I mean? I was just letting them talk shit, and I waited. And the dude that I was passing the notes from, his room actually was right across from my room, you know, across the hallway from mine. And during shift change that day, like I said before, there's only one staff on the wing, and then everyone's door is open. You know, there's a little magnet in the back, and then the door swings open and sticks to the magnet. So during shift change that day, I'm telling my homie like, yo, bro, listen, man, you need to fucking eat that shit. Like, you know, be a man up and tell him that I was passing the notes for you, because they talking about taking my fucking release date and everything, bro. Like, what's up with that shit, man? And a little bit later on that night, fucking, he ended up doing that. You know what I mean? He did the noble thing, and he went and fucking, you know, manned up and told them that, you know, he wrote the note, it wasn't me. And I was just passing the notes for him, which I still got in trouble for passing notes. But instead of taking my release date, they just kicked me out of the food prep program. And then I had to go back to school. Even though I had my GED, I had to go back to school for fucking like my last couple weeks and shit like that. But, you know, luckily my homie fucking, you know, he was a stand-up guy, and, you know, he ate that shit and he took the rap like a man, because had that have been anybody else, they probably wouldn't have, because they didn't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But he still had some time left. He knew that I was about to get out. You know what I mean? Me and him, like I said, me and him were pretty close, and he ain't want to see me get fucked over for trying to help him out. You know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all enjoyed the content, man. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the little notification bell, so that way every time I drop a video, y'all can get notified and, you know what I'm saying, see it first. Much respect to everybody that's been hitting like and tuning in and shit like that. I appreciate that shit a lot. Let's get this shit up to 1K. You know what I'm saying? The road to 1K. Yeah, man. Hope y'all liked it. Till next time. You.